Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Saraville champion cheerleaders. Can we all stand for a short prayer and a salute to our flag? Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our service men and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Terry, notice of publication?
Yes, Mayor, take notice that this regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 22nd day of January 2018 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Here.
Grillo.
Here.
Kilpatrick. Here. Lembo.
Here.
Melendez.
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Council President, may I have the approval of the prior minutes?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I move the following minutes of the Mayor and Council be approved on roll call vote, subject to correction as necessary. The January 1st, 2018 reorganization meeting and the January 8th, 2018 special meeting and executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Well, we have a very special night, and we have a lot of young Saraville residents with bows in their hair, and those that forgot to put bows in their hair. But how many did their homework before they came? Ooh, holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. All right. So Mom and Dad, feel free to get up. Everything's a Kodak moment tonight, so feel free to walk around and take pictures. But with that, I'm going to ask Councilman Melendez, because he is recreation, to be the master of ceremonies for this very auspicious occasion. And so if I could have the coaches come forward and the governing body come to the rail. And girls, we're going to call you up. Now, on top of the door is a television camera. So you're going to be on TV and you're going to be on the internet. So you're celebrities tonight.
You want me to call out names or you do it? No, I don't want to. All right. So good evening, everyone. Good to see those beautiful Disney bows. I know you got homework because I think only 2 people did homework tonight, right? Okay, so I'm going to let the coaches speak and give a little story about why we're all here. Okay. You guys could fight who could speak. But really quick, I just want to say, on behalf of myself as a parent, councilman, coach, the most exciting thing about what you guys accomplished this year, and I'm speaking for football too because the boys did well, was a year ago you guys were 2 organizations. And for some of the older people here in town, those 2 organizations have been around like since your grandparents were born. And it was always a big thing. There was the Leprechauns and there was the Panthers, and you guys together became one team, one town, one unit. And not only is it a great thing, you guys went to Disney. 3 teams went to Disney. So give yourselves a big round of applause, because that's so exciting. And it's a really great thing, because even for the boys, they all go to the same school. There's no more rivalry. They're one family. Fridays they wear the jerseys. I'm assuming the girls do something similar with that. So I'm really proud. The town is really proud of you, and you guys were the first team to go to the Disney as Saraville Junior Bombers. So very exciting for that. Awesome. So I think Crystal wants to tell a story about how they got here.
Sonia.
Where is she? Oh, come here. What are you doing over there? Hiding. Come on up. This, this is Sonia, the cheer rep, and she's the one that put this all together. So, well, she had a lot of help, but she led a really great team of parents, coaches, and an awesome organization who really put this thing together. So, why don't you tell the parents how we got here?
I actually prepared something. Okay. First, we want to thank the mayor and council for inviting our 2017 national cheer teams to be recognized at tonight's meeting. It is not an easy task for a cheer team to receive a bid to nationals, and we not only had one team, but 3 teams receive a bid and compete at nationals in Florida, representing Sayreville. With hard work, determination, and dedication, these girls started their nationals journey in August, working together as a team with one goal in mind, and that was to make it to Florida. They started off by competing at our local competition against other associations within Central Jersey in October, where they needed to place, in order to move on to the regional competition held in November. Eastern Region draws cheer teams from 5 states and Washington, D.C. that have also placed at their local competitions. The competition is over 2 weekends. In our inaugural season, I am happy to say that SJB had 4 competitive teams reach regionals. In order to receive a bid to nationals, you need to place in the top 2 in the region. Our junior Pee-wee cheer team placed 6th out of 26 teams. Our Pee-wee and JV teams placed 2nd, and our varsity placed 1st, giving those 3 teams a bid to nationals the first week of December. We couldn't be prouder of all our teams that competed. Watching all 3 teams compete at the highest competition that is offered in Pop Warner was an amazing opportunity for me. Having all 3 teams place at nationals was just an awesome experience. I just want to thank all the cheerleaders, parents, and coaches for a great inaugural season. Without you, none of this is possible, and congratulations again on all your accomplishments, and hoping this is the first of many more to come.
Congratulations. Okay, so we have the Pee Wee team who's going to go first. We have these. Yeah. All right. So can I have the whole junior Pee? Is it junior Pee? No, Pee Wee team. Come on up. Abigail Lukey. Is she here? Abby. Adriana Grasso. Come on up. Here you go, honey. Alexis Rojas. She's not here. Okay, here you go. Ania Sparks. Anaya. I'm sorry, Anaya. Angelina Bella. She's not here. Okay. Azra Barnett. I'm terrible with names. Anivia. Congratulations. Gabriella. Congratulations. Gianna. Congratulations. Julie. Where are you? Catherine. Kathy. Hi. Lacey. Congratulations. Leah. Sorry. Oh, you're the Madison. Okay. Mia. Congratulations. Sarah. And Shaylin. Congratulations. Everybody turn around. Whoa, wait, come back. Turn around. Smile, look at your parents, and look at the camera. You're on TV.
Wave to the camera. Wave to the TV camera.
Put up your thing. There you go.
Everyone look at the here.
Okay, girls, thank you. Can I have the junior varsity team? Amy. Shaylin. Did we just? We just gave one to Shaylin. That's next year's. Christina Fritz. Congratulations. Crystal. Congratulations. Isabella. Congratulations. Liliana. Congratulations. Not here. Marissa Rowley. Marissa's not here. Okay. Give it to Marissa. Megan. Congratulations. Rachel Cruz. Congratulations. And Sarah McLaughlin, she's not here. Sophia. Is she here? Sophia Gotti, she's not here. Okay. Tegan. Where, did I just saw her? Am I missing somebody?
Yeah, Caitlin Boreski.
Caitlin.
We had two. We had Shaylin.
All right, Caitlin. We'll have yours tomorrow. We'll have yours tomorrow.
That's it.
Okay, smile at the camera. Congratulations. Big nice wave. Congratulations, girls. Yeah, Caitlin. And last but not least, varsity. Big girls. Might I say the first place varsity team. National champions. Alyssa Cruz. Alyssa Cruz. Congratulations. Cameron Casperin. Congratulations. Krista Winkler. Congratulations. Emma Hochran. Congratulations. Haley Redding. Haley? Oh, there you go. Congratulations. Hannah Blend. Congratulations. Jaden Kaiser. Oh, hi. Congratulations. Jasmine Gonzalez. Jaden Mann. Jessica Redding. Caitlin Fritz. Kylie Teschler. Not here? Oh. Take that? Okay. Morgan Brennan. Congratulations. Mia Jackson. Maya. I'm sorry, Maya. What's some names? Riley Ann. Congratulations. Sarah Otter. Congratulations. And Sarah Williams. Congratulations. Big nice applause. Smile, look at the camera.
Ladies, champions always make Saraville very proud. So we're very proud of you, and we expect to continue to read great things about your accomplishments. With that, I'm going to give the microphone to the council president.
Thank you, Mayor. Ladies, parents, family, everybody, these are the days that we love here as council people because you young ladies make us proud every single day, like the mayor said. The work that you put in order to get to this point, these are the memories you're going to take with you forever. The teamwork, the friendships, and all of the hard work that you put in, remember it and use it to excel in the future in everything you do. Congratulations.
First, to the parents out there, thank you for giving up your time for letting these girls practice every night and go taking them down to Disney. I know it's not an easy ride, but you guys did it, and so great job to you. To the ladies, your hard work shows. It's great seeing all the blue and gray out here and the Mickey Mouse ears. Everyone loves Mickey Mouse ears. But thank you for showing Saraville, or showing the country what Saraville is. So congratulations.
Congratulations, ladies and coaches. Going to Disney is truly a great experience. My daughter had the privilege back in '08, and these are memories you'll treasure for many, many years to come. And you see all that hard work and practice paid off, and Saraville is very, very proud of you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, girls, and thank you, parents and coaches. Without your help, none of this would have been possible. Good luck, girls, next year.
Welcome, everyone. Thank God you're not here to complain about taxes. That's what I thought you were all sitting here for when I walked in. This is a wonderful achievement for all of you, and a little personal story. Ricky and I were running mates, and I remember we'd be walking around door to door, and he'd say, we have to combine these leagues. We have to get it together. We have to make sure that these young folks have all the opportunities to succeed. And I didn't quite get it, but I was like, all right, Rick, whatever you say, it'll make sense, sure. And now, 3 years later, the proof is in the pudding. You guys have done some amazing things. You have incredible stamina and cooperation and commitment, and you should all be very, very proud of yourselves. And congratulations to Councilman Melendez on seeing his vision come through. And I wish you all many, many years of luck and success.
If everyone would stay in their seat, we have another recipient tonight. So we have two groups of very important people. With that, I'd like to call up Assemblyman John Wisniewski. So like you, John grew up in Saraville, born and raised, and he went on to college, went on to law school. He was our assemblyman for over 20 years. And with that, this is like the Wizard of Oz, when the wizard reaches into a bag and says, what you need is a proclamation. So we're here. So whereas John S. Wisniewski was born in Perth Amboy in 1962 and is a lifelong resident of the borough of Saraville. John was nurtured and raised by his mother, Cecilia, the former court administrator for the borough, and his father, Felix, a local millwright at the National Lead Factory. John was taught at an early age that working hard is not just about enriching yourself and others, but also about improving your community. And whereas John graduated from Rutgers in 1984 and from Seton Hall Law School in 1987, John married the beautiful Deborah in 1990. The beautiful Deborah, give us a little twirl, would you please? And raised three daughters, Emily, Sarah, and Rachel in Saraville. And whereas he became interested in public service by watching his father serve as a borough councilman and helping with his father's campaigns through the years. Encouraged by family and friends, John set out on his own political journey and was elected as president of the Saraville Young Democrats in 1979. And whereas in 1995, John won his first term in the New Jersey General Assembly with the highest vote of all district candidates on the ballot for General Assembly, and overwhelmingly won 10 more re-election campaigns. Whereas John also served as chairman of the Transportation Committee of the Eastern Regional Conference of the Council of State Governments from 2006 to 2017, and was co-chairman of the Eastern Regional Conference Council of Governments in 2012. John has also served as chairman of the New Jersey Fire Safety Commission since 2002. Whereas John is a fierce advocate and author of laws to improve safe driving, Sarah's Law, named after former Saraville resident Sarah Dubinin, which created the next of kin database for first responders through the New Jersey Department of Motor Vehicles. John is also known for his role in discovering and investigating the Bridgegate scandal related to the lane closures at the George Washington Bridge in 2013. Whereas his legislative record is impressive, as any included serving as Deputy Speaker of the General Assembly from 2004 to 2017, and a 16-year tenure as the longest-serving Chairman of the Assembly Transportation, Public Works, and Independent Authorities Committee. Now therefore, I, Kennedy O'Brien, Mayor of the Borough of Sayreville, do hereby recognize the contribution that John Wisniewski has made to the Borough of Sayreville in the state of New Jersey, and has caused this proclamation to be issued, and the official seal of the borough duly affixed this 22nd day of January 2018, and duly attested to by the municipal clerk. Thank you, John. Now, as unaccustomed to you are at public speaking, I'm going to give you the microphone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, members of the governing body, ladies and gentlemen. So the children have endured quite enough in terms of speech making, and I will spare them any long remarks here. But I was thinking, as I came into the room here tonight, that I think the first council meeting that I sat through, Mr. Mayor, was 40 years ago when my dad was a councilman. It was 1978, and I was working on his re-election campaign. And so 40 years later, here I am, after spending 22 years in the General Assembly. And I want to reflect on one thing, Mayor, that you said. When I first was elected, it was about 1997 or 1998, and you said, you know, you're doing such a good job as Assemblyman, I could see you here in 20 years. And I said to him at that point in time, I can't imagine that. But I have to point out that you were wrong, because I was here in 22 years. But like everybody who runs for office, I got involved in politics because I thought that I could contribute something to my community that has been so wonderful to me. Graduating from Sayreville High School and going to Rutgers University and Seton Hall Law School, my roots and my foundation are in this community. It's a community that I love, and that while I am ending my service in the General Assembly, I still will be involved in my community and my state. What that means in the future, I don't know. But I want you to know that because I care about this community, I'll continue to be involved in this community. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. Members of the council, thank you.
All right, are you going for ice cream or pizza? Both? All right. Have fun. We expect to see you back here. You make us proud. Couple more years, her daughter. Yeah, yeah.
Although that might have been because what he was reading from
How are you?
what I call the 50-year print. Anybody that's older than 50 years old reads that big print.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Charlie Rookie's there. Charlie Rookie's there. Yeah, that's hard.
I feel in trouble with the organization raised. I think everything.
What is your airfare at hotel?
And you have to stay in Disney for 3 days minimum. And you have to buy they give you a package deal. It's expensive. There's 14 that own this. Like my daughter's school, they came in 6 out of 22. They only take so each one of those qualifies for a week.
Ah, somebody's plug. Yep. You probably have 100 in lost and found.
Okay, with that, we're going to go to old business. Gary?
Mayor, first we need a motion to receive and file the mayor's proclamation for John Wisniewski.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we go to old business.
Public hearing on the following ordinances. Ordinance number 387-18, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 19 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to amend Chapter 19 swimming pools.
At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance, 387-18. Are there any questions or compliments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Grillo.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Grillo,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Lembo,
Yes.
Melendez,
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance 388-18, an ordinance amending Chapter 2 Administration to add Section 2-68, COA Oversight Committee of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Saraville.
This time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Grillo.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Mayor,
Second.
before, I had some questions on this ordinance. Steve, I don't know if you wrote it or the attorney wrote it. One of the questions I have is regarding A. It talks about the boards, commissions, authorities, agencies, and council, but lower in that, it says that the council can't have anybody on there. So, is the council allowed to have a member?
It's not this council. I think it's the Cultural Arts Council is the only group we have that's not called a committee, agency, authority. It was actually brought to my attention from Open Space. We had listed commissions, but not committees. So I went back with the attorney and the clerk and made sure that every body within the borough was listed under that. So it's not this council, it's the Cultural Arts Council.
Okay. Next question I had was, it talked about membership, and just for clarification, it says that you could be appointed for 1 year. So if you're a member of a commission or a board, you could be appointed for 1 year. After your year is up, you have to sit out 2 years?
Correct.
So even if no other members of that board wants to be on that board, be on the COA, they still can't be on?
If no other member of that board volunteers, then it's the assumption that that committee doesn't want to participate. So our argument, and the reason there's an exemption here is we use the planning board discussion. Planning board, Sarah, zoning board don't feel like they should participate, so they don't volunteer someone, they don't send someone to the meeting. So I guess that's
No,
the
question
extent
was
of your
if
question.
you had a member, an active member that wanted to be on it, and they served for their 1 year, no one else wanted to be on it the following year, they're excluded, that board doesn't have a seat anymore because no one else had the time or whatever the reason being.
The intent of it was to keep circulation, that it wasn't just the same members over and over and over again. However, if the governing body would be more comfortable over your concern that there wouldn't be representation, I'm willing to amend it as needed.
Or it can be amended at the time as the situation arises. These are living documents.
Well,
But I think a
Yeah.
member is better than no member.
I think that we have to put that in the ordinance now, that an exemption can be made if no other member wants to. I think it should be included now, because once it's in the ordinance, we'd have to change the ordinance to make the exception. Am I
Well,
correct?
in addition to that, I think we have to set a maximum term that they can't be reappointed more than one time. Is
I
that
guess-
fair?
Fair compromise. so-
Otherwise, we're working against the original intent of the ordinance.
So I would move that we have one appointment after the first year. So the maximum term could be 2 years. I think at that point, it would be incumbent on the body to introduce a new member. If they can't get it together, to have one other person volunteer, then I don't think that they should really be participating at that point, because clearly their membership is not engaged as much as it should be. So I think I think you're right.
Well, I mean, you're talking about every board and commission, so that would be the CDBG, who has, 3 members.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have 3 members on their board, so if one member is the only person that can make it every night or every month, then they're stuck. So that's why I was thinking of it. I'm not thinking about these boards that have 9, 10, 12,
Right.
or the rec board who has 20-some members, then they could throw somebody on there. But when you have these smaller boards, these small pocket boards,
Fair point.
Potentially, they could be eliminated from the discussion after a couple of years.
Understood.
Okay, is everyone satisfied with?
and just the
with this?
last question, you want to have a planner there, one for the planning board, and then if the council so chooses to have their own planner, then you're going to be having 2 planners go once a month to the committee meeting and then once a month to our council meeting to discuss updates. Where's that money coming from? I mean, how is there a cap on it? How much is the hourly salary? Are they getting what they have on their agreement to come to a meeting? I don't know how long the meetings are going to be. I just want to make sure that we have a number here so that we know exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, I think a flat fee would probably be appropriate on this. I don't see an enormous amount of work that would go into this necessarily from the planner's perspective, other than presenting items that have gone on at the council, clarifying them to the committee, and then, of course, coming back to the council with any questions. But then again, it doesn't need to be in person. It could be a written report. But, I'm going to use the argument that this body's used a number of times, which is this is the most pressing and important issue in the borough. I think that we should be willing to spend the money to have the community engaged and have questions answered. So, I mean, I think a flat fee is probably fine. Obviously, we would need to discuss this we don't even have a municipal planner at this point. They have to be appointed in February, correct? So, I mean, I think we should have that discussion going forward.
Okay, anything else, Dan? Okay, would you?
Yeah, with those changes, Mayor, they are substantial because I'm going to have to maximum appointment for 2 years and then the exemption requirement for boards who do not have maybe members who can attend. So what I'd ask is if you just table this, Mr. Grillo.
Could we make an exemption just for groups, let's say, under 5 members? I think that gets to Councilman Buchanan's point. I think we should have that.
That's fine, I can put it in as long as you guys, is that what you want?
You wish to table it?
Under those changes, absolutely.
Okay. Next item of business, Terry?
Wait, did we need the motion in a second?
So I'm going to make a motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, Terry?
Public hearing on the following ordinance, ordinance number 389-18, an ordinance amending the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to provide for the collection of development fees in support of affordable housing as permitted by the New Jersey Fair Housing Act.
At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Lembo.
Yes, Mayor, I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second?
Roll call?
Councilpersons Lembo,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Next item, Terry?
Public hearing on ordinance number 390-18, an ordinance repealing Chapter 34 entitled Affirmative Marketing Ordinance of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, and State of New Jersey.
I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Lembo.
Yes, Mayor, I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second?
Roll call?
Councilpersons Lembo,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
public hearing on ordinance number 391-18, an ordinance amending Chapter 35 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to address the requirements of the Fair Housing Act and Uniform Housing Affordability Control regarding compliance with the borough's affordable housing obligations.
I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there any questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I will entertain a motion. Councilman Lumbo.
I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading, and advertised according to law.
Second?
Roll call.
Councilpersons Lembo?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Mayor, we needed a motion to table ordinance 392-18.
Councilman Lumbo.
Motion to table for further
Is
revision.
there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Lembo?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Okay, at the following time, I'm going to make the following appointments. For 1 year as municipal prosecutor, Francis Womack. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
For 1 year as the public defender, Roselli and Roselli. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
For 3-year term as municipal judge, Mike Sika. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
I'm sorry, who seconded the motion?
Ricky.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Grillo?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
For a 1-year term as municipal planner, Susan Gruel. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
I'm sorry, who moved that motion?
There. I second.
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Okay. For a 3-year term on the Commission on Aging, per the Commission on Aging Committee, has asked that I appoint Patricia Farrell. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Okay, I received an email.
Melendez?
Yes.
Okay. I received an email from Mindy Schiffman that the Human Relations Commission had a scheduled meeting, but they didn't have enough members to have a quorum. There's a Wilberto Holder here who resubmitted, so I'm going to make a motion to appoint him to a 3-year.
Second.
Roll call.
Who moved that motion?
I did.
I
Second by
second it.
Councilwoman Novak.
Yes.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
And that still leaves 2 terms, 2 positions open, so if we can, plus the Board of Ed rep, plus the student rep from the high school.
There's a new application there, Robert Stuber.
I can't hear you, Mary.
Excuse me, there's a new application there, Robert Stuber?
Oh, I'm sorry, there is. So let's put him in for Carol Gentile. Is there a
moved.
motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
So that leaves 1 3-year member open, and then the Board of Ed, and would that be Tom, or is that a separate rep?
Yeah, the Board of Ed
Question.
appoints someone, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually the Board of Ed
So if you
appoints.
could reach out to them, Terry, the Board of Ed,
Yes,
for
ma'am.
that.
We need a student and so you can make the recommendation
On the,
student.
on the rec board, Michelle Mayer submitted an application for a 3-year membership. for reappointment. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Lembo.
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Okay. And then on the open space, for Stanley wasn't interested, Val Tar, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan.
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Lembo.
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's it tonight. Okay. Next item.
Mayor. Under Planning Board, Councilman Lembo was not reappointed. Oh, yes.
Okay. As a Class 3 for a one-year term to the Planning Board, Councilman Lembo. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Lembo,
Do I vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Melendez.
Yes.
Novak. Yes.
Do we have to do something about Michael McEnone? Because he's not a legitimate member, he can't even vote.
According to the Planning Board attorney, he is. Work it out with the Planning Board attorney, would you?
I'll speak to the planning board attorney regarding his opinion. That would, I haven't seen it, so.
Okay. Okay, with that, we'll go to new business.
Under new business, we have the introduction of the following ordinances. Ordinance number 393-18, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance 235-13, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2013, 14, 15, and 16.
Mary, if you would?
Yes, I move that the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law for a public hearing to be held on February 12th prevailing time.
Next item. Oh, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan.
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Kilpatrick.
Yes.
Lembo.
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Next item.
Ordinance number 394-18, calendar year 2018, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank in accordance with NJSA 4-45.14.
Councilwoman Novak?
Yes, Mayor, I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law for a public hearing to be held on February 12th prevailing time.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo.
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Lembo.
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Mayor, I'd like to report having received the annual debt statement, which was filed with the Division of Local Government Services for the year ending in 2017 from our CFO, Wayne Kronowski.
I move that the, be received and filed.
Is there a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on consent agenda items. Are there any questions or comments on consent agenda items? Being no questions or comments on consent agenda items, I'll entertain a motion. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. I move the public hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Buchanan,
I am abstaining on number 36 for business reasons, and I'm voting yes on everything else.
Grillo,
Yes.
Lembo,
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Next item.
The
Yeah,
following
Mayor.
resolutions to be read in full. The Borough Attorney will read them into record.
Mayor, this is Resolution 2814-42 of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, of New Jersey, adopting the affirmative marketing plan for the Borough of Saraville. Whereas in accordance with the New Jersey Uniform Housing and Affordability Controls, the Borough of Saraville is required to adopt a affirmative marketing plan to ensure that all affordable housing units created, including those created by the rehabilitation of rental units within the Borough of Sayreville, are affirmatively marketed to low and moderate income households with preference provided to homeless veterans, disabled veterans, and family members who are primarily residential caregivers to disabled veterans residing with them, particularly those households living and/or working with the Housing Region 3, the Cohen Housing Region encompassing the Borough of Sayreville. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Sayreville, do hereby adopt the following affirmative marking plan. All affordable housing units in the Borough of Sayreville shall be marketed in accordance with the provisions. This affirmative marking plan shall apply to all developments that contain or will contain lower and moderate income units, including those that are part of the borough prior round fair share plan and its current fair share plan, and those that may be constructed in future developments not yet anticipated by the fair share plan. This affirmative marking plan shall also apply to any rehabilitated rental units that are vacated and rented during the applicable period of controls. The affirmative marking plan shall be implemented by one or more of the administrative agents designated by and/or under the contract of the Borough of Sayreville. All the costs of advertising and affirmatively marketing affordable housing units shall be borne by the developers, sellers, owners of the affordable units. All such advertising and affirmative marking shall be subject to approval and oversight by the designated administrative agent. In implementing the affirmative marking plan, the administrative agent acting on behalf of the Borough of Sayreville shall undertake at the minimum the following strategies: publication of advertisement in one or more newspapers of general circulation within the housing region, broadcasting or advertising by radio or television station, broadcasting throughout the housing region, at least one additional regional marketing strategy using one of the other sources listed below. The affirmative marking plan is a regional marketing strategy designed to attract buyers and/or renters of all majority and minority groups, regardless of race, creed, color, national origin, ancestry, marital or family status, gender, affectional or sexual orientation, disability, age, or a number of children to housing units which are being marketed by a developer or sponsor of the affordable housing. Pursuant to NJSA 40:37A-114.1, preference for the affordable housing within a housing project shall be provided to homeless veterans, disabled veterans, family members who are the primary residential caregivers to disabled veterans residing with them. The affirmative marking plan is also intended to target those potentially eligible persons who are least likely to apply for affordable units in that region. It is a county program or continuing program that directs all marketing activities toward the COA housing region in which the municipality is located, and covers the entire period of the deed restriction for each restricted housing unit, period. The Borough of Sayreville is located in COA Housing Region 3. The affirmative marking plan is a continuing program and intended to be followed throughout the entire period of restrictions and shall meet the following requirements. All newspaper articles, announcements, and requests for applications for very low, moderate income units shall appear in the Middlesex Democrat, the Courier News, and the Home News Tribune. The primary marketing shall take the form of at least one press release and a paid display advertisement in the above newspapers once a week for 4 consecutive weeks. Additional advertising and publicity shall be on as need-based basis. The developer shall disseminate all public service announcements and pay for display and advertisements. The developer owner shall provide proof of publications to the administrative agent. All press releases, advertisements shall be approved in advance by the administrative agent. The advertisement shall include the description of the location of the unit, directions to the unit, range of prices for the unit, size and measure of the bathrooms in the units, maximum income permitted to qualify the unit, location of applications, business hours when interested households may obtain an application, application fees, newspaper articles, announcement, and information on where to request applications for very low, and moderate income housing shall appear at least once a week for 4 consecutive weeks in at least 3 consecutively oriented newspapers serving the housing region, one of which shall be circulated primarily in Middlesex, and the other 2 shall be primarily circulated outside of Middlesex County. The following regional cable television stations or regional television stations shall be used during the first month of the advertising. Developer must provide satisfactory proof of public dissemination: 101.5, 710 AM, 880 AM, Comcast of New Jersey, Cablevision of Raritan Valley. Applications, brochure, sign, and posters used as part of the affirmative marking program shall be available posted in the following locations: Sayreville Borough Hall, Sayreville Borough website, Developer Sales Rental Units, Middlesex County Administration Building, Somerset County Administration, Hunterdon County Administration, Middlesex County Library, Somerset County Library, Hunterdon County All Library. Applications shall be mailed by the administrative agent and municipal housing liaison to prospective applicants upon request. All applicants shall be available at the developer's sales, rental, and multiple copies of application forms shall be mailed to the Fair Share Housing, the New Brunswick Plainfield area, Perth Amboy, Pentucket, Edison branch of the NAACP, and the Latino Action Network for dissemination of the respective constituents. The administrative agent shall develop, maintain, and update a list of community contact and organizations in Middlesex, Somerset, and Hunterdon counties that will aid in the informative marketing programs with particular emphasis on contacts. Will reach out to groups that are least likely to apply for housing within the region, including major regional employers identified in Attachment A. Part 3 of the marketing section of COA, a form of housing plan for affordable housing in Region 3 attached to and hereby made a part of this region, as well as the following entity: Fair Share Housing Center, the New Brunswick Plainfield area, Perth Amboy, Metuchen, Edison branches of the NAACP and the Latino Action Network. Quarterly information, flyers, and applications shall be sent to the following agencies for the publication and circulation: Middlesex County Board of Realtors, Somerset County Board of Realtors, Hunterdon County Board of Realtors. Quarterly information, circulars, and applications shall be sent to the administrators of each of the following agencies within the counties of the Middlesex County, or Middlesex, Somerset, and Hunterdon: Welfare or Social Board, Rental Assistance Office, Office of Aging, Housing Authority, Community Action Agencies, to Community Development Departments. Quarterly information, circulation, and application shall be sent to the chief personnel administrator of all major employees within the region as listed on Attachment A. In addition, specific notification of the availability of housing units in Sayreville shall be provided to the following entities: Fair Share Housing, the New Brunswick Plainfield area, Perth Amboy, Metuchen, Edison branches of the NAACP, and the Latino Action Network. The following list is a list of community contact and organizations, Middlesex, Somerset, and Hunterdon counties that will aid in the affirmative marketing program and provide guidance and counseling services to prospective occupants of very low and moderate income units: Central Jersey Housing Resource Center, Brunswick and Housing Corporation, Housing Coalition of Central Jersey, Northwest New Jersey Community Action Program. A random selection method to select occupants of very low and moderate income housing shall be used by the administrative agent in conforming with the NJSC 5:80-26-16. 1. The affirmative marketing plan shall provide a regional preference for very low and moderate income housing that live and/or work in COA Housing 3, comprised of Middlesex, Somerset, and Hunterdon. Pursuant to the New Jersey Fair Housing Act, a preference for very low, moderate income veterans duly qualified may also be exercised, provided an agreement to this effect that has been executed between the developer or landlord and the borough prior to the affirmative marketing of these units. The administrative agent shall administer the affirmative marketing plan. The administrative agent has the responsibility to income qualify very low and moderate income households, to place income eligible households in very low and moderate income units upon initial occupancy, to provide for the initial occupancy of very low and moderate income units with the qualified households, to continue to qualify household for reoccupancy of the units as they become vacant during the period of affordability controls, to assist with outreach to very low and moderate income households, and to enforce the terms of the deed restrictions and mortgage loan. The administrative agent shall provide or direct qualified very low and moderate income applicants to counseling services on subjects such as budgeting, credit issues, mortgage qualifications, rental leases, requirements, and landlord-tenant law, and shall develop, maintain, and update a list of entities and lenders willing and able to perform such services. All developers, owners of very low, moderate income housing units shall be required to undertake and pay costs of the marketing of the affordable units in their respective developments, subject to the direction and supervision of the administrative agent. The implementation of the affordable marketing plan for that development, including affordable housing, shall commence at least 120 days before the issuance of either a temporary or permanent CO. The implementation of the affordable marketing shall continue until all very low, and moderate income housing units are initially occupied, and for as long as the affordable units remain deed restricted, such that qualifying new tenants and/or purchasers continue to be necessary. The administrative agent shall provide the affordable housing liaison with the information required to comply with the monitoring and reporting requirements pursuant to NJSA AC 5:80-26-1. And that's it. Wow, no wonder why Terry's giving that one up
You need a
tonight, huh?
glass of water, Mike.
Okay, are there any questions or comments on that resolution? Being no questions or
that?
comments, I'll entertain a,
He just did.
I just did. I'll entertain a motion.
I move the public portion be closed and the resolution be adopted on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
And Mayor, the only other resolution, which is a lot shorter, Resolution 2018-43, the resolution of the mayor and council of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appointing Dan Frankel as a designated municipal housing liaison, whereas the Borough of Saraville has petitioned the Superior Court of New Jersey for a declaratory judgment that its adopted housing plan and fair share plan is compliant with its constitutional obligation to provide its fair share of the regional need for very low, and moderate income housing, whereas the Borough adopted housing element fair share plan will result in the creation of housing units affordable to and intended for occupancy solely by qualified very low, and moderate income households. And whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Saraville has determined to appoint and designate Dan Frankel as its municipal housing liaison to fulfill the duties set forth in Chapter 35 of the Borough Revised General Ordinance. Now therefore by the mayor and council of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, the Borough of Saraville hereby appoints Daniel Frankel as designated municipal housing liaison.
Is there a motion?
We need to open it to the public.
Oh, I'm sorry. This time I'm going to open to the public for any questions or comments. If no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I move the public portion be closed and the resolution be adopted on roll call vote.
Is there a second? Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Okay, nothing for this. At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on any and all issues. Young ladies?
Janice Benedetto, 1 Thomas Avenue in the Melrose section. I need an explanation as to what's going on with ordinance 392-18 and what is the standing of the appeals and the litigation regarding all COA issues, including the National Lead Intervenor Status Appeal.
Yeah, Mayor, if I could.
Go ahead.
That 392-18, the attorneys for the borough as well as the special master are renegotiating or negotiating the language on that. That's why it was tabled. Then with respect to the appeal, as you were aware of, Jeff Serenian has focused or spearheaded the litigation. There has been discussions and motions. There will be additional hearings set forth in the next probably 2 to 4 weeks, at which time the discussions will include National Lead, council fees, and the discussion on the appeal.
From the point of view of the residents of the Melrose section, okay, 392-18, whatever the revisions have to be or what have you, is extremely concerning to us when we were waiting to hear from you what appraisal values were for the $12,000 the town spent on 2 agencies.
I can address that. The appraisal has been sent back for further review. There has been an initial draft. I haven't seen it yet, but initial discussions with Mr. Frankel. The appraiser didn't have all of the facts associated with that. There is some issues that are particular to that site, so we are waiting for those reports to come in.
From both appraisal firms?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there's problems with both of them?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so from the point of view of the residents of the town and the Melrose section, we feel like we're being sold a bill of goods here right now and being given the runaround, okay? We don't want to see an ordinance to start building affordable housing or any housing on the Cross Avenue site. That's why we handed in 480 signatures and continued collecting them, and I didn't think there was going to be a need to give you the second set of signatures or to continue collecting them. You know, the appraisal, engaging the firms, we got the runaround. Then they finally were engaged on November 15th. This is January 22nd. If this was a business, the people involved would be fired. Okay, this is not a situation of competency and doing a good job right now. I want to know why all of a sudden Ordinance 392 is in existence. What is the legal reasons for it at this point?
Well, I guess there has been much discussion on this particular ordinance between the special master, between National Lead. The court is well aware of our adversity to this particular ordinance. There's a number of discussions that are going place. I'm not partaking in those conversations. Mr. Serenian's been in conversations with the special master, Mr. Gibson from National Lead, and also the Judge Natale. So that's why Mr. Serenian had requested that ordinance be tabled.
Well, I appreciate that the ordinance has been tabled, and that is great, news from our point of view, and, that's a good step. Any delay in things is a positive step in the right direction for us. But, I don't understand at this point in time why appraisals couldn't have been carried out already before we are dealing in the winter months with snow and things of that sort. The other thing is, and I'm sure there's revisions to be made and whatever, and I don't know if you can go into what kind of items you're talking about with revisions.
No, I can't at this point in time. Just for your knowledge, there has been discussions with Mr. Frankel, Mr. Serenian, Mrs. Gruhl to ensure that we have all our bases covered with this appraisal.
All right, because also from the point of view of Susan Gruhl being more or less engaged as a consultant before, she had, in her report, designated that the Cross Avenue National Lead site was not needed with all the other credits and things of that sort.
And I'm sure without, this will be subject to additional discussions in court.
All right, now, there was mention at the last council meeting that there might be a court date tomorrow, Tuesday the 23rd.
That was carried until February 8th, I believe.
February 8th.
Right.
And is the judge aware of the fact that we're having appraisals done and there's been a petition and that we want to consider this as a purchase by the town for open space?
Yes.
And when it comes to the appeals, was the actual intervenor status of National Lead appealed, or was everything just appealed in a total generality?
You're going to see a general appeal of everything.
Of everything, but not specifics, because I
Not
knew we had a
specific,
45-day deadline on that.
Right.
All right, but it's just the whole COA situation.
Because without getting into legal jargon, there's these terms called interlocutory, and that is whether all of the issues have been decided, and if it hasn't, is it a final appeal? So just be well aware that those issues are being addressed.
All right, and so the next time there's a court case is February 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and now on the appraisals, now that the two appraisal firms have been given additional information, what's their time estimate?
I anticipate, at least to me, I should get something back in the next 7 to 10 days. No? Well, let's put it this way. I hope to have it before February 8th.
All right, and before the next council meeting, I would hope, which is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know what the date of the council meeting is.
Is that the 12th? All right, so I hope you get it for the 8th, which is better than the 12th. The other thing was, we had asked at the December 18th council meeting of Mr. Kronowski some figures regarding accounts payable expenditures and billings to Mr. Leon Cavello and Mr. Sachs. I don't know if those figures have been calculated yet.
Actually, I had them available at the last meeting, which I don't think you attended.
No, unfortunately, I have a life too.
But yes, I do have a copy. I did carry it forward.
Okay, can I?
This is for you.
All right. I appreciate that a great deal.
Yes, the council received it last meeting.
I thank you for the time and effort involved in doing the calculations for us. All right. I thank you for your time and efforts, and I hope we have a good, since this is my first meeting of the year, a good new year, and hopefully we obtain the goals that we're trying to, as residents of the town, and with what we are looking for as far as declaring the Cross Avenue National Lead Site as open space. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Are there any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Charlie Lukey, 324 Oak Street, Melrose section of Cerebral. I have a few complaints. Since the last time I was here, picked up 6 more, plus 2 in the tire, 4 that I threw away. Talked to the neighbor. They've experienced somewhere around 14 flats.
You pass them up, Charlie.
Something's got to be done down there. Those came off the sidewalk and in my driveway. The other day, I've come out the front door. There's some sitting right on the steps.
Do you think these are from a utility truck?
No. There ain't nobody building down there. There ain't
No,
I'm
I
on a
get-
dead end. There's nobody, you know.
They're coming from someplace.
Yeah, it's raining them.
You know, but where I work, we have a problem with nails and staples, and it's actually coming off of utility trucks. They have like a bag on the side
No.
filled with hardware, and
No.
they hit a bump, it spills over.
Nope. Now, another thing. The past 3 days, okay, we had a wonderful effervescence of human excrement down in Melrose. I have to today 197 calls logged in, state numbers, to the air enforcement, okay? I talked to some people today. I called it. They tell me that it's your responsibility. You, as the mayor, have the responsibility to straighten this out.
Really?
I got this from air enforcement.
I don't have a problem straightening it out, Charlie, as long as I'm given the power to do it. That being said, we had gotten this set up with the MCUA a number of years ago, where there was supposed to be a number that you could call. It mostly was happening at night because somebody was opening up one of the large doors there, venting
Right,
out
right.
the inside. Is this similar?
Yeah, I've been living with this ever
know,
since
I
they
know,
built that
I know.
place. All right, now,
Wait a minute, Charlie.
I called.
Who did you call?
I called the air enforcement.
No, did you call the MCUA? That whatever that number was?
When I
or-
went there one time, I was told to stay off their property. Get out of here and stay off the property.
Okay.
All right? So I don't bother with them. I call the state.
The past 3 nights, Charlie?
Pardon?
The past Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, this past Saturday and Sunday. 3 days of this stuff.
Okay.
All right. So then they tell me, call the state assembly. The assemblymen have something to do with this. So I called Joe Egan. All right. The woman there, she tells me that I have to call the state senator because the assembly has no control over that. So I called to Mr. Bob Smith, and I didn't get through to anybody there. That's typical
You gotta
Democrat
call
organization.
Senator, Charlie, our senator is Senator Joe Vitale in Woodbridge, and our assembly people is Assemblyman Coughlin in Woodbridge and Assemblywoman Lopez. They all share the same office in Woodbridge. Dan will give them a call, and he'll have them contact you. But we had gone through this a number of years ago, and the MCUA had set up a hotline for the residents of Melrose that when a situation like this occurred, they were to call that number, and it was supposed to go right into the MCUA building. We will find out what is and isn't happening.
I talked to some of the residents in the area.
Yeah.
And you know what I get? I don't want my taxes to go up. Make sense to you? You're going to die from the smell, right? You're going to get a cancer, but we don't want our taxes to go up. Does that make sense to you?
Why would your taxes go?
Well, for complaining about this, they have to do something. When they open them doors and they have maintenance to do, there has to be some type of a piece of equipment that
Yeah,
they
you
can
gag.
move there
You
and
gag.
burn that off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to go up through the scrubbers.
But don't.
Charlie, we're gonna find out.
All right. Now, another question for you. Cross Avenue. Jay, can you put 163 apartments on that sewer line that's coming down Oak Street?
That's something that would be looked at when there's an application for the development of the property.
How are you going to get rid of the effluent there? Where are you going to run the pipe? And who's going to pay for it? Me, taxpayer of town?
We're not there yet, Charlie.
We're not there yet, but if you give them the approval to build there, right? Then you're saying, well, I'll get you the pipe.
Wait.
But in the meantime,
We're not
we're
giving-
discussing
we're
it,
not
and you don't want to
giving-
hear it.
Charlie, we're not giving them the approval. There's no application. This is all posturing in the courts.
Well, it's food for thought then. That I'm up here explaining to you, there's no way you're going to get that sewage out of there unless you hook up into South Amboy and go down Raritan Street.
Okay.
Either that or everybody that rents there is going to have a pot to take out in the morning. You know?
I hear you, Charlie.
That's all I can say. You know, it's a catch-22 there.
Yes. Charlie, we have to go through the courts first to see.
All right, go
see,
through.
See if it's see what's going to come out the other side.
All right.
No pun intended.
All right. Can you do something about the nails? Maybe send a sweeper down there or something?
I have Saraville's finest here. I'm going to talk to them about it.
I
see-
made a police complaint already.
Okay.
Right, and the neighbor's moving out of town. The end of the month, he's leaving. He's going to Florida. So
Okay.
you can tell a lad that's throwing them things around. The kid ain't going to be there no more. All right?
Okay.
And it's ridiculous. Those people suffered 14 to 16 nails in their tires.
This is an individual that lives in a neighborhood that's throwing them around?
I don't know who's throwing them, but it's raining nails down there.
Okay. Charlie, we'll look into it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Bob Kraskowski, 26 Gillen Drive, and Marlin.
How can we help you, Bob?
At the end of 2017, I
Can you hold the mic a little closer, Bob?
At the end of 2017, I prepaid some of my 2018 property tax.
Right.
So I paid the first 2 quarters, which I was assessed, but I paid over and excess that with the hope that I would have been able to take that overage against my 2017 taxes, okay? In other words, I
2018
paid more
tax.
than my first 2.
2018 taxes.
2018.
Right.
So apparently, though, the IRS has ruled you can't do that. You can only take the first 2 quarters payment.
Okay.
Now the borough was holding money of mine that I overpaid, hoping to be able to use that tax against my IRS, taxes for 2017.
How much do you think you overpaid, Bob?
I don't know, it's like $5,000 maybe.
This is Wayne Kronowski, our CFO.
If you want a refund for the third and fourth quarter estimates they had, the amount over the first and second quarters.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Just come into the tax office or send to the tax office in writing a request to have that money
I did
refunded.
that today, and I was told that it may require a motion from the mayor and council.
Well, I think the motion would be, I don't think the mayor and council have a problem with that. I mean, it'll just have to go on a bill list. It'll have to go through the procedure of the bill list and approve for payment refund at the council meeting.
Bob, there's no problem. I don't believe there's any objection from the governing body to return your money. But we need, whatever the protocol is that Wayne sets up for you as the chief financial officer. I need you to follow so that we do it properly. Because if I'm doing it for you, I'm probably doing it for a number of
Well,
people.
that's the issue. There may be others like me, but.
Yeah, that's,
I
we,
have no idea.
we just need to get the protocol established, and then
As a matter of
We'll get
fact,
it.
that protocol was established by the state. Just today, we were.
Okay.
We were notified that upon written request, we have to refund the monies.
Well, I did
yeah.
provide a written request to the tax assessor's office, the tax collector's office.
Okay, good, then I'm sure they'll put it through, so 3
right.
weeks from now,
You have any idea of the timing on that?
our next meeting is in 3 weeks. Okay,
Okay.
3 weeks from tonight. Prior to that, you're gonna be requested to sign a voucher. Come in and sign a voucher, or we'll send you a voucher if you so choose, and you can sign it and either bring it in, hand deliver it, or send it back in.
All right, great.
Okay?
All right, thank you. One other request. There's been a lot of, I don't know, misinformation or non-information about what's going on with the Point. And I'm asking the mayor and council to formally request the redevelopment agency to host a town hall with the community to give some insight as to what's going on there, what the schedule is, who the new developers are. I mean, it's a big black hole to the community.
I'll send it to the developer to host a town hall.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Mayor, if I
Appreciate
may,
that.
we had this discussion at Sarah quite a few meetings back, and they are planning to come in, the developer is planning to come in. They needed to take care, I think, of a few things on their part regarding the negotiations.
No, I understand, but
But they are going to
they
do
need
that.
to do it a little sooner, because an awful lot of people are probably asking each and every elected official up here
Yes.
for a status report.
Right, right.
And you feel actually quite foolish.
Yes.
But to give Janice some comfort, we don't get any further than you get. They go, there's litigation, there's this, there's that, and
This Thursday is our
we go
next-
through the same thing you do. Very frustrating. I can empathize with you.
And Mayor, this Thursday, as you know, is our next Sarah meeting, so we'll bring that up again and see if we can get any info
Yeah.
quicker also.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Yes, ma'am.
Ruth Ann Mahoney, 2 Gerard Place in Portland. Happy New Year. I just have a concern, and it's new, about, I read it, I haven't done a lot of any research on it, about the zoning board and planning board reconsidering an application for drug rehab where the old Briar Hill was, near the
That is,
Eisenhower School.
That's the zoning board,
Is it the
and
zoning and planning?
it's the old Carriage House nursing home.
Right, right. And it's near the school.
Correct.
So it is a concern to me, not that we don't need rehab, we do, but there must be a better place for it. I'll do more research. I don't know how close they are, but it's just a concern I needed to bring up because it's so close to the school.
I don't think there's anyone sitting up here who's in favor of it.
Well, thank you.
And they have
Meeting
their,
is
have their
on
meeting.
Wednesday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pardon?
The meeting's Wednesday night.
I'll be there. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
How you doing? My name is William Carroll. I live at 11 Prine Avenue in Melrose section of Sayreville. Carroll, C-A-R-O. I just wanted to make an observation that I had. This is about late summer, early fall. I was driving toward Oak Street on Cross Avenue, and I happened to see a deer munching along the road there. So there, you know, as far as this area being designated as open spaces, there's wildlife there.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Being no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Excuse me, I move the public portion be closed.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're going to go right into the workshop session. Okay. Would everyone please stand for a salute to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Born and unborn.
Okay, as I call out, the
Mayor-
ordinance is...
Mayor needs to make notice of publication.
statement of
This
publication.
agenda session of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 22nd day of January 2018 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975.
Okay.
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Here.
Grillo.
Here.
Kilpatrick.
Here.
Lembo.
Yep.
Melendez.
Yep.
Novak. Sorry, Mayor.
Yep.
Any questions on 393-18, 394-18? We'll go to committee reports, Administration and Finance, Councilwoman Novak.
Yes, Mayor, I make a motion to receive and file the minutes and departmental reports as listed under A, 1, 2, and 3.
Is there a motion?
I made the motion.
Second.
Next item.
Okay. Under B, looking for approval of the applications for the bingo and raffle licenses as listed on the agenda, number 1, St. Stan's.
Any objection? Next item.
Okay. One big thing, we're looking to set a date to discuss the capital budget. I have 2 dates. February 5th is the Monday before our next meeting. If that's not good for the council, maybe having it on our next meeting, but like at 5:30, we're going to need at least an hour and a half. Could everybody look at their calendars so we can set a date for this?
What date is that, Mary?
May 5th is the first Monday?
February 5th?
Yes, I'm sorry, I wasn't saying May. My mother's birthday.
No, it's February 12th.
No, I said February 5th is the one that's preferred, because we're going to need time. But if that is not,
Okay.
if we can't get the
we'll start
council.
at what time?
No,
Well-
can we do the 12th? Is that the same day as the council? I can't come on the 5th, but I can come early on the 12th if that's...
How does everybody feel about that? I'm fine with early on the 12th, but we
Early
have to
12th
get
is
it
good.
done. That's the latest I want to go. Early on the 12th or May 5th?
The 12th.
It would have to be at least 5:30, because we need at least an hour and a half to
Okay.
discuss this capital.
Okay.
That's fine.
Is that good for everybody?
That'll work.
Yes, that looks like it's good. Wow, that's great. Okay, couple of other things. Have we started advertising for Wayne's job? Not that his is such an important job. Maybe we should advertise?
Wayne is doing a great job. He's giving me an ad that I'll be able to be placed in all of the magazines and everything in the next...
You know, at the next meeting, why don't we have a talk with Wayne about his recommendations?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to know for at least advertising.
Dan and I
You-
were discussing it this morning.
Oh,
so, yeah.
great minds think alike then. Okay, I'm saying we can't afford to be without. Do we know about the tax collector position? Okay, we still don't know. Other than that, that's great. I'm really happy. A couple of things I would just like to point out. Ricky, this is really kind of for you. I found out that they have mouthpieces that have sensors in them to detect concussions. So I thought I'd give you some information that I got. Also, Stanford University is actually using them right now. So anything to help the kids. Now, here's another thing I read in the paper, and a friend of a friend had this happen to them, so this is really kind of important. Middlesex County Clerk's Office is offering a new alert service that could potentially save property owners from scams. The free property alert service will notify property owners by email anytime a document affecting that owner's property is recorded in the clerk's office. There are many scams going on where this friend of a friend actually was notified that she was losing her house because somebody had put a second mortgage on it. And they have a phone number here. Terry, I'll give you this article, and if anybody does call, they do have a phone number to call, and they'll ask you for your email address and everything, and and if anything comes up that affects your property, you will be notified, so you won't be, you know, because people are actually, I don't know how the heck they're doing it, but they're taking mortgages out on other people's property. So it's very important, and
Just,
It was in the paper, but I'm going to give the phone number to Terry, too, so
Okay.
if anybody calls the borough.
Just as a note, Councilwoman, you can also go on the website of the county clerk's office and apply for it there, because I have
You
done
did
that.
it?
I'm already
Mhm.
activated that alert system for my property, so.
But I figured if
You
people.
can go on the website.
They might not have even been aware of it, and, it's very important to do. Anybody that owns any property should do that. And other than that, Mayor, progress.
Thank you. Planning and zoning, Councilman Lumber.
Thank you, Mayor. Move the following minutes and reports be received and filed. Construction officials report, zoning and code enforcement reports, all for the month of December 2017.
Second.
Also, the fire prevention report for the month of December 2017.
Second.
And also received the following planning board resolution, which was memorialized on January 3rd regarding Gillette Enterprises and Gump Industries minor subdivision. Receive and file.
Second.
Anything else, Councilman?
Other than that, progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Public safety, Councilman Buchanan.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the following reports be received and filed. The Board of Health Registrar and County Inspector's Report for the month of December 2017. Court Administrator's Report for the months of October and December 2017. And the Police Chief's Report for the month of December 2017. Yes, Mayor. Letter B, received notice of retirement for Ronald Bacco from his position from captain as of July 1st, 2018. Like that, received and filed.
Second.
And letter C, the coin toss as listed. Terry, they're all in compliance with the forms and so forth. The only other thing is I spoke with the chief last week and received a letter from Dan Plumacher. I'm going to pass it out. I'll read the letter. Can it be read in public? Okay. The certification for police lieutenant PL 180081. The lieutenants to be promoted. They gave the names of the two individuals for lieutenant, and the certification for sergeant PL 180082 for sergeant, and they gave the two names for them as well. Those are acting positions right now, and they want to have them permanent based on the list.
We only have one sergeant and one lieutenant that are officially.
If you'd come up, please.
No, the captain's not here. The captain's not here. Captain's not here.
Sorry.
And this is to take a.
You promoted him.
Jump in the rank.
But we only have two positions available right now.
Well, it would be taking the other one's position as well.
What?
It would take the other one's position when one moves up.
Yes, we have one lieutenant and one sergeant.
Leaving, we received one for next month as well.
Well, we can't
February.
promote though until then.
It's as of March 1st, of the letter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How you doing?
So it's just to discuss now.
Just establish who you are for the record.
My name is Michael Thiel. I'm a police officer in the borough of Saraville. I'm also the union president for the PBA.
Okay.
So yes, this letter was written by Captain Plumacher. These are for a total of 4 positions, 2 lieutenants and 2 sergeants, but not to be made effective until March 1st. As of March 1st, all 4 of those positions will be made available. There was a little bit of an issue through civil service where the council requested for certifications to go through and to be appointed. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a last-minute issue where those certifications weren't sent out, or at least received by, I believe they were sent out, but civil service did not receive them.
Do you have any objection to these
No,
promotions?
I believe this is the appropriate thing, the way it should be handled.
So the way we would do it, we would make it effective March 1st, provided everything's in order.
Correct.
Right.
All right.
I spoke to the union as well about it, but I just wanted to put it out there
Okay.
so that we could have it on our next agenda.
Any objection to this? Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Other than that, progress.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Okay, Recreation, Councilman Melendez.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A, I'd like to move the following minutes, the Recreations Director's Report for the month of December 2017.
Next item.
Item B, George Different, so everyone knows, former councilman, recreation member, passed away about a year ago. And he was a big proponent of the soccer organization and fields in town. So we're actually building a new playground there. And the Recreation Advisory Board asked if we could dedicate and name the park after him. So I told them yeah, and I said we would, make it official in the next
Any
council meeting.
objection? Next item.
And item C, special event application received from Old Bridge Sarah Rotary to conduct a 5K run on April 29th, 2018 at the soccer complex.
Any objection?
No.
Next item.
And that's progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Water and Sewer, Councilman Grillo.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I move the following minutes and reports be received and filed. The Water and Sewer Director's report for the months of November and December 2017.
Anything else?
Yeah, just a quick update. At the last meeting, we brought up a study that Jay was going to conduct regarding water main breaks in town after the recent spate of them. We received the documentation from Water and Sewer Director and Dan Frankel on Friday, so Jay is going to have the next 3 weeks to produce the report, and we should have something by our next meeting.
Okay.
That's
Thank
all.
you, Councilman. All right, Public Works Council President Kilpatrick.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes and reports be received and filed. The Public Works Supervisor's reports for buildings and grounds, parks, recycling, roads and sanitation, and garage services, all for the month of December 2017. And the Rent Leveling Board minutes of January 9th, 2018.
Next item.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple of follow-up items from our last meeting to take a look and see what kind of information we have. One of the things I mentioned at the last meeting was an update on the benches that were supposed to be put into the Kennedy Park area, and if we could find out where we were with that, I think that was your job, Mr. Frankel.
Coming your way, Council President, are benches that we've looked at, and we have two types of benches we can work with. One is wood bench, the other is a recycled plastic bench. According to our Public Works and our Parks Department and our Recreation Director, they would definitely be leaning towards the recycled plastic or thermoplastic bench. You see there an example of what prices are. Everyone seems to like the recycled plastic park bench. If we wanted to go for something a little less expensive, on the second page, there's another bench that is a model, I believe it's 660. That's about $426. So it's at the pleasure of the council of what they would like to do, but these are the benches and recommendations through meetings with Public Works and myself.
Okay, everyone, please take a look at them, and then let your thoughts be known to Dan, please.
Okay, thank you, and I believe that that was monies that we had appropriated, I think, at our last year's budget session, so I know that one of the other things to consider here when looking at these is we had thought of the idea of giving residents the opportunity to sort of plaque one of those benches, or sort of like adopt a bench where you can turn around and come to the borough and say that for such and such amount of money, I'd like to put a plaque that says in dedication or memorial of. So keep that in mind also when you look at these. Thank you for that, Mr. Frankel. Next is my road improvement list. At the last council meeting, we discussed where we were with that at first. It was believed that there wasn't enough money in the budget that was remaining in order to do any type of engineering. I want to thank Mr. Karnowski for sending over the open road improvement budget balances, which gives us the opportunity, I think, now to sit down. I know that Mr. Bailey created a list. Jay, do you have an update as to where we are with taking a look at that?
Yes, I'm meeting with Mr. Bailey and his supervisor this week to talk about the roads and prioritize them. Then we'll work up some cost estimates and provide it to Wayne for further review.
Excellent. Thank you very much for doing that, both of you gentlemen. Next, moving on, I did ask for one additional update regarding our food truck ordinance that was brought before us a couple of meetings back. Have we been able to take a look at that any further so we can see if we can move that to the council level?
We have. We've had some comments about the ordinance itself, about how that reflects about other competing with other businesses. The ordinance that was worked up was through our code enforcement. He compiled a bunch of ordinances from a couple municipalities. Mike Dupont, our attorney, who also lives in Red Bank, I also spoke to Mike and a couple other municipalities. There's a discussion we will need to have, it doesn't have to be tonight, of whether we are pro or con the idea of food trucks.
There's just some internal discussions that are taking place now, so that I think that's what Mr. Frankel is getting the bottom line with respect to cost, the advantages and disadvantages of implementing this.
You gotta
Okay.
speak up, Mike.
The advantages and disadvantage of implementing this for your brick and mortar restaurants and places in town.
Right, so once those internal discussions are a little bit further along, is there a time frame that we can expect something to come before us so that we can have a public discussion, residents can weigh in, and we can talk about the potential of bringing this here, whether it's something that's good, bad, ugly, something residents want or not?
Yeah, I'm sure that we can circulate a draft of the ordinance or for next meeting.
Okay, perfect, thank you very much. And I have a new discussion in reference to parks, and I'm glad that Councilman Melendez brought up the park improvements that are being done at the soccer fields. For a couple of years now, we've been discussing how right now our parks currently use mulch as opposed to what some of the other parks use, like the one over by the Center for Lifelong Learning, which is the rubber matting. The rubber matting offers a lot of different cost benefits, maintenance, as well as health and safety concerns for kids. I was hopeful that we could perhaps tax Mr. Jerry Ust, our Recreation Director, along with Bernie Bailey, again, our Public Works Director, to get us some pricing from some different companies, an idea of what it would cost, like per square linear foot, and really take a look at this year making a conscious effort of perhaps looking at which parks, based on our finances, we can do an upgrade, even if we did one a year, whether it be our largest park or our smallest park, based on what we have available, so that we can remove the mulching, which poses a lot of different hazards. Number one, it's expensive. Every year we have to dump more. Every year we have to turn around and maintain it. And every year you have animals and stuff that really use it as their own personal bathroom, and this is where our children are playing. So there's a lot of different benefits. I know that we have gotten some preliminary ideas of what it would cost to do maybe one of our larger parks, but I think if we make the conscious effort as a council, if we can afford to do even one of the smaller parks, each year make that something that we strive for, then it would be a definite improvement and betterment for our town and for our kids. So moving forward, if somebody could, I'll ask Mr. Frankel, can you reach out to Mr. Ust and to Mr. Bailey to turn around and present to the council those costs, an idea of what we could potentially do and what park would be maybe the most cost-effective and feasible as we move into our budget discussions.
Absolutely.
And that does it for me. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. With that, we'll go to the Business Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Authorization to appoint Ashley Linder, Clerk 1 of the Municipal Court, effective February 20th, 2018.
Next item.
Authorization to appoint, promote Susan Pizzillo to Deputy Court Administrator in the Municipal Court, effective February 16th, 2018.
Next item.
Authorization for the Borough to re-examine and review our stormwater pollution prevention plan and our municipal stormwater management plan.
Next item.
Authorization to issue change order number 2 for the library meeting room addition project to Triform Construction of Metuchen, New Jersey, in the amount of $1,463.75, which will increase the total project cost to $455,538.72.
Next item.
Authorization to advertise for bids for MacArthur Avenue streetscape tree planting per the Rutgers Cooperative Extension Floodplain Restoration Plan.
Next item.
Authorization to award a contract to Rutgers Cooperative Extension for project management of the MacArthur Avenue streetscape tree planting. Sorry.
Next item.
It should be tree planting, shouldn't it?
Say that again.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay.
This
Auth-
money is coming out of the shade tree.
Shade tree, great.
Okay.
Authorization to appoint, promote John Dragata to Sewer Repairer 1 in the Water and Sewer Department, effective February 16th, 2018.
Next item.
Authorization to appoint lateral Dean Contos to Pump Station Operator in the Water and Sewer Department, effective February 16th, 2018.
Next item.
Authorization to appoint Derek Kopek, Labor in the Water and Sewer Department, effective February 20th, 2018.
Next item.
That's it, Mayor.
Okay, CFO's report.
First item is a transfer resolution between now and the end of March. And the second item is I'll have prepared a bond ordinance for the rehabilitation of the Pulaski Avenue water tank. The engineer is in a process, or is going to be in a process of plans and specs and ultimate advertising for it. So it'll be introduced at the next meeting with public hearing at the following meeting.
Okay. Jay's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one on Pulaski Avenue you discussed during your first part of the meeting, so nothing further at this time.
Okay. Borough Attorney's report.
No report, Mayor.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on any and all issues. Are there any questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.